Happy Holy Days, everybody, and Merry Maui Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. I'm Love Coach Scott Katamas, and I'm coming to you from Maui, where I'm here. I just helped to officiate a wedding this afternoon, and we have a really powerful show. Deborah and I really wanted tonight's show to be powerful. We love working with the TwinRay, who are going to be with us live. And tonight, and it was their idea, we are honoring our spiritual teachers and leaders and inspirations, both in present time and who their influences have been. And wait till you hear some of the wonderful stories from Reverend Michael Beckwith and Andrew Harvey and all the other ones sharing about who their influences have been. It's going to be a very powerful show. And throughout the night, we want to invite all of you to put in the chat box who your influences are. Now, a lot of you are watching us on Facebook. Welcome. Welcome, everybody watching on Unify or on Alan Steinfeld's YouTube channel or the 150 Facebook groups and pages that come to us via John Raymer and the Sign Network. And John, by the way, is going to drop into our after show tonight. So thank you, John and Summer, for all you do. And so all of you watching on Facebook, come on into our Zoom room. It's easy. Just go to globalpeacetribe.com. That's globalpeacetribe.com and register. It takes about a minute. And then you'll immediately get the link. You can come on into our Zoom room. We always have good 200 or 300 people in the Zoom room. And that's where we can more easily chat with you, see your feedback. And we want your feedback. We want your input because tonight we're making some wonderful choices and decisions. And we want to hear from you. So come on in, go to globalpeacetribe.com and join us. It's going to be a great show. Some of our absolute favorite luminaries are joining us, and the TwinRay, who we love and adore. And to tell you more about tonight's show, it's my honor to present one very significant time, my business partner and collaborative partner, co-host, Deborah Giusti.
Thank you, Scott, and so wonderful to be with you all on this amazing emerging of the winter solstice. This is our 89th show that we produced every Saturday night since the lockdown, and we're going to have one more special show for you for season 7, A Glimpse of Heaven, next week. Thank you so much for your donations as you register, and all your donations on our donation portal where you can get tax deductible donations, because these are really important for us to produce the show every week. And again, tonight is going to be an amazing show celebrating winter solstice by honoring beloved spiritual teachers of past and present. So we're now in the powerful window of the winter solstice, which is a very special holy time for many of us, especially this year, with it being such a potent time on the planet for change, for challenge, for new directions, and for dynamic evolution. So we have the opportunity now to review the year that's ending, let go of previous soul contracts that are not serving now, and be open to the guidance of new beginnings and new opportunities that are available now to each one of us on so many levels. And it's especially important to look for the guidance and wisdom of those who light the way for us. So we're dedicating this show to honoring beloved teachers of the past and present. We are so lucky in this lifetime to have access to so many teachers of the past and the present, the ones that are living now here, and also the ones that are working from the higher dimensions to guide us towards the path of evolutionary awakening. So this is really, truly a blessed time to be on the planet for spiritual growth, because modern technology can actually put us in touch with so many of the major teachers that have deeply influenced the awakening of humanity. Just yesterday, I was on Facebook with the Dalai Lama, for example. How special it is to just be right there with amazing teachers like that. So this very special show, we have created and collaborated with the TwinRay Shekinah and Sananda, who Scott and I consider to be one of the greatest spiritual teachers today, and who are here strongly on mission to support the awakening of humanity. And also tonight, we're going to have other amazing luminaries who are going to share their inspirational teacher stories and share who has and influence them on wonderful ways. And we're going to honor and give respect to these amazing spiritual teachers. And we find that the ultimate spiritual teacher, the supreme guide, is always love. So there's going to be a lot of love on this show tonight that we're going to be sharing, that we're going to be infusing, that we're going to be all connecting on. So our shows are always about love, but even more than ever, tonight is about love. So I'm so happy to present to you our speakers, presenters, musicians for tonight. So I want to start with the TwinRay Shekinah and Sananda, who are here on this planet now with the devotion of unwavering love to serve humanity. They bring forth wisdom teachings from ancient and modern spiritual science that prepare us to experience enlightenment and spiritual liberation. Welcome, Shekinah and Sananda. So wonderful to have you with us tonight.
Blessings, beloved Deborah, dear Scott, and Saturday Night Alive family. It's a joy to be with you all, and it's such a really meaningful theme tonight, especially at the timing of the solstice.
We're so grateful to be here with all of you and to be honoring those who have walked before, now, and in the future, because we hold spiritual teachers and spiritual teachings and having a teacher very, very high. And we do want to share a little bit about what it really means to have a spiritual teacher and how in antiquity, what that was like to have a spiritual teacher.
Yes, it was absolutely sought after. One's life's purpose was really to find the right teacher, to find that teacher that resonated within, because ultimately that teacher that is teaching you to actually bring out and awaken that spirit within. And so this was always the highest, really the highest seeking of anything throughout the many different lineages, whether it's the East or the West. But with spiritual truth becoming absolute, really it was about finding that teacher that would resonate in order to bring that out and manifest that in life, in order to end the entire game of suffering, the entire worldly game of duality. And so we really want to always acknowledge the primary teacher, that's that one's true self, that one expression of love, that one expression of truth, that one expression of divinity that encapsulates all of us together. And through this beautiful show tonight, we'll also be sharing about some very important and close family that had really catalyzed our spiritual journey in such a way to be where we are today, to be teachers and have that noble responsibility, because it's really the greatest honor to be a teacher and to be in service in this way.
It is the greatest honor, and it is noble indeed. It is a noble responsibility, because what we really are doing is bringing out the nobility of your soul, reminding you of no matter what you've been through, no matter what has been done to you, the nobility of your soul is untarnishable, can never be touched.
Thank you so much. And we're going to bring you back in just a moment. And I want to introduce the rest of the speakers. But thank you so much. I also want to introduce Satyan and Suzanne Raja. Satyan is widely known as the private transformational mentor, advisor, and confidant to the powerful and thoughtful and influential. And Suzanne has been called one of the foremost leaders and pioneers of the women's transformational movement. Also, we're going to be featuring Michael Bernard Beckwith, who's the founder and spiritual director of Agape International Spiritual Center. They are highly regarded. He's highly regarded for his teachings and science of inner transformation, and he embraces practical approach to spirituality using meditation, prayer, life visioning. We are also going to feature Matthew Fox, who is an author, theologian, active priest, And he has been calling people of spirit and conscious into his creation spirituality lineage for over 50 years. He's produced 38 books, he lectures, and he's going to have a really special message for us tonight. Tonight, we are also going to feature Lynn Twist, who's the co-founder of Pachamama Alliance, the founder of the Soul of Money Institute. She's dedicated herself to alleviating power, hunger, and supporting social justice and environmental sustainability. And she's going to teach us about her spiritual teachers that have been her guides to her amazing work on the planet. And as always, we've got incredible musicians, spoken word. Astarius Miraculi has facilitated the spiritual community for over 40 years. He's an Ascension ambassador, didgeridoo vocal harmonic sound healer. He's a poet, astrologer, Reiki master, and teacher with 24 music albums and 2 books. And we're also so happy to have Marcy Made of Light. She is a composer and multi-instrumentalist who had a spontaneous awakening at the age of 20, and she became a sought-after body worker and coach, but then embarked on a 7-year initiatory path of yoga, meditation, and that's where sacred music became her calling. And now I want to bring back the TwinRay, who are going to be with us a lot during the evening, which I'm so happy for. The TwinRay is very special beings. They are guided by a compassionate heart and unified by a divine love marriage at the level that they are unified as one being. The TwinRay Shekinah and Sananda have a wonderful common mission that includes sharing potent and ancient wisdom and a deep honoring of unchanging truth, held in the devotion of their unwavering love to serve humanity. Their teachings are contemporary, but yet they hold an ancient thread. They're simple and profound. They still the mind and open the heart. And they bring self-realization, wisdom through 5,000 years of an unbroken lineage of truth. But also it's very contemporary because they are tuning in to the new paradigm teachings that are being brought through at this time. They have an amazing golden age sanctuary among the mountains of Southern Oregon, and Scott and I were blessed to experience it in August. And here's where they, through their center, they inspire a global community of mystics, yogis, healers, and community leaders into action. And they model selfless service to humanity. And as Scott and I have been sharing with you, for me, they are one of the most amazing contemporary teachers of these times. And I have studied with a lot of high-level spiritual and ascension teachers. And for me, when I hear them speak, it's a big yes in my heart and my soul. So we are so blessed to have them tonight to share their wisdom, share their teachings, and it's going to be an amazing show. So I'd love to bring them on now and have them share a little bit more about the theme of the night and what we're going to experience tonight. So welcome again, the TwinRay.
Thank you, beloved Deborah. We did the intro beforehand.
We thought we were already doing that, so we'll just fall through.
Really, it's so beautiful that what you've shared, and thank you so much.
That was such a beautiful introduction, really heartfelt. Thank you.
And really the inspiration of this show was when you and Scott came and stayed here at the sanctuary, and it was so lovely because when you shared that, it was just so touching to our hearts. We're like, yes, it was
such an honoring for us, and we, as you were honoring us, we wanted to honor, those who have been so meaningful to us, and we knew that this would be a show that everyone can connect with and everyone can relate to on some level.
Yeah.
Because when you really think about a teacher, yes, you can think about a persona or a personality, of course, but we're going to open this up to understand that everything is a teacher. Breath is a teacher.
Yeah.
And so we are going to talk about, yes, those who've been physically present and walked, those who have been ethereal, that are very, very close to us, part of our collective, and also something as simple as a flower, the sunlight and breath.
Yeah. Exactly. You know, this the simplicity of life, that everything becomes a teacher. Everything's redirecting you back to the true self, truly. And that's really all that the purpose of being taught is, to redirect you back to the truth that's already inside you. And sometimes it's the unlearning process, and that divine truth sends you straight back to your heart and allows you to remember really what you already know deep within. And so the nobility of a teacher also calls for the nobility of a student that has prepared themselves, a student that is really diligent on the path, that knows discernments, that knows how to let go and actually evolve into the true expression of their being, let going of all the limitations. And so really, any guiding light that has graced this planet, any guiding light or teacher that has come here that is liberated and free, and a true expression of those teachings, that one teacher has many faces. Love has many, many faces, but one spirit. And so we honor...
And one truth.
Yeah, and one truth. It's always comes back to that one single truth. And that's really what this age is all about, the Aquarian age. And where we are right now, preparing for the solstice, last solstice in 2020, where we had the profound conjunction, the Bethlehem star of Saturn and Jupiter, the greatest astrological teachers, coming to complete harmony and resonance to represent and announce to the world that this is the Aquarian age. They aligned at the Aquarian age. And this motion into this new age right now hasn't been easy for many. You know, it has been a struggle. And there's many leaving the planet right now, and there's many more coming into the planet. It's a whole new cycle. And so there's a whole new wave of teachings around this new cycle of life. But there's always that one common denominator, that one ultimate truth, that one ultimate expression of love, that anyone that hears that, who feels that, becomes alivened within that, remembers really the true nature of oneself and the true purpose of one's life.
Mm-hmm. And just like we started to share earlier, we bridge things back to the ancient world, and again find that golden thread that connects that which is ancient, that we hold very close to and very dear to, and also that which is contemporary, that which is real and available and alive right now. And in a world where we live in the West, we very much fall towards the East, but yet we're here and we live in the West. And in a world in the West where there's a movement right now where people are saying, well, they don't need teachers, we want to talk a little bit about that and explain the beauty, the grace, the benefit, and the honor to really have a true spiritual teacher, because a true spiritual teacher is going to return you back to that love that can only be found really when somebody is that light for you, that exemplifies, models, and embodies that spirit, a liberated teacher.
Yeah. So in this beautiful show together, we'll share more about that and really share the inspiration of some that have been a part of our life, to be where we are today in this capacity to be in selfless service and share and be a teacher to the ones that we are blessed to be a teacher for. But everyone is always a student at the same time.
And that's the thing about a teacher, is that a great teacher can only be a great teacher with great students. Mm-hmm.
Well, I am honored to be one of your students. And I want to say that I've been around the block a long time. I've met so many spiritual teachers and a lot of amazing, beautiful beings that have graced my life. And many of them are going to be on the show tonight, including, by the way, Andrew Harvey. We didn't mention that we have a wonderful video from Andrew. But I want to say to everybody watching that getting to know the TwinRay and spending a week with them in their home temple was truly life transforming. And what they share, there's a lot of wisdom, but it's who you both are these two beings are so generous. They are so generous with their love. And I just appreciate how you model above and beyond all the incredible wisdom that you have, how you just model generosity, generosity of spirit, generosity of beingness, generosity of sharing your presence. So thank you. Thank you. They're going to be on
That's
2 more
right.
times during the course of our show. So you're going to see more of TwinRay. But I really want to ask you a little bit, if you could share with us about this very special offering that you're going to be providing, because I want to make sure everybody knows about it. Deborah and I will be putting in throughout the link, and it's your masterclass. Tell us a little bit about it.
So this is just
We'll just switch gears for a quick moment. Yes.
this is just a free offering, beloved, to assist to clear the slate of 2021 and to help all beloveds go through a process to catapult them into 2022, which is a master builder year. So really, this is just an offering from our hearts to give you a process, a technique, and a ritual to help clear all the opportunities that were really blessings in disguise of 2021, but also harness and cultivate all the positivity that you have garnered, not only through this year, but all years, in order to really set you up for a powerful year of 2022 and prepare you to really receive the frequencies of what this year is going to bring. And so we speak a little bit about the forecast of 2022, and we also actually just are about to release another bonus with that masterclass, which is all about the solstice, and giving another solstice meditation to prepare for this time as well.
Another free one, of course. And so again, this is a free masterclass. It's, how to wipe the slate clean for 2021 and really catapult you into 2022. We give beautiful practices. We do experiential work together and really bring you into a space to know the blessings that have been given, even if sometimes they don't seem that way. And again, blessings don't always come in rainbows.
So everybody, all you got to do, you just put in your name and your email, and then you're going to get the link and you can watch it at your own convenience, at your own timing. We're going to hear from Satyan and Suzanne Raja in just a few minutes, but we always like to get things going with music. So to tell us about our musical artist tonight, here's Deborah.
Yes, we always like to start with high frequency music because music touches our soul, expands our energy, and connects us all. And we're so happy tonight to have a new artist with us, Marcy Made of Light. She is so perfect to start this evening tonight. After being trained from a young age on classical violin, she had a spontaneous awakening at age 20 and became a sought-after somatic body worker and coach. And she embarked on a 7-year initiatory path of traditional yoga meditation, and that's where she committed to sacred music as her calling. Her voice, her music is totally angelic, and it's going to be very beautiful to experience her tonight. So welcome, Marcy, and welcome to set the vibration and the high energy stage for this beautiful show tonight. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right. Welcome, everybody. Just wanted to say hi, introduce myself and the song. We're going to sing to Ganesh tonight. Beloved Ganesh, Guru Ganesh, Ganesh that helps us through obstacles, Ganesh that can help us overcome our challenges and even find the joy in our challenges by helping us access the doorway to our own sense of divinity, our own joy. So this song is in that frequency. It's meant to inspire and to help lift our spirits. If you feel called to sing along as well. Thank you so much for having us. I'm really happy to be here. Bhagavan Ananda Hari Om. Om Sharanam Ganesha Hari Om. Om Bhagavan Ananda Hari Om. Om Sharanam Ganesha Hari Om. Om Bhagavan Ananda Hari Om. Om Sharanam Ganesha Hari Om. Om Bhagavan Ananda Hari Om. Om Sharanam Ganesha Hari Om. Shri Ganesha Jaya, Shri Ananda Dev, Jai Ganesha Deva, Jai Jai Jai. Shri Ganesha Jaya, Shri Ananda Dev, Jai Ganesha Deva, Jai 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 Gurudev. Girijanandana, Goriyanandana, Girijanandana, Murtaye, Parama Ananda Murtaye, Parama Ananda Murtaye, Girijanandana, Goriyanandana, Girijanandana Murtaye, Parama Ananda Murtaye, Parama Ananda Murtaye. Om Gam Ganapataye, Om Gam Ganapataye, Om Gam Ganapataye, Namo Namah, Namo Namah, Namo Namah. Om Bhagavan Ananda Hari Om. Om Sharanam Ganesha Hari Om. Om Bhagavan Ananda Hari Om. Om Sharanam Ganesha Hari Om. Shri Ganesha Jaya, Shri Ananda Dev, Jai Ganesha Deva, Jai Jai Jai. Shri Ganesha Jaya, Shri Ananda Dev, Jai Ganesha Deva, Jai 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 Gurudev, Jai 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 Gurudev, Jai 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 Gurudev, Jai 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 Gurudev.
That was just delightful. Thank you so much. Wow. It's always such a joy when new musical artists come into our world and they would just feel that incredible, beautiful vibration. I personally love Ganesha. And Marcy's going to play 2 more songs for us tonight throughout the show. But Marcy, I do want, since you're new, I want to kind of introduce you a little bit more to our Global Peace Tribe here. And so tell us about this. You just completed this album, Into the Light. So tell us a little bit about it, please.
Yeah, sure. This is my first album, and it's really inspired, first of all, by my own personal meditation practice and deep relationships that I have with these deities. It was really a seva for me, and really an offering. Spirit was like, "You really need to make this album." I was like, "I don't want to make this. I have terrible stage fright. I don't, I don't know how to write music. I don't know how to make an album. I don't know." But really, Spirit kept nudging me, and I eventually ended up writing, recording over a 3-year process this album, which was inspired by my meditation practice, of course, but also over the course of the writing, learning how to write, recording, and launch. Scott and I were chatting about this, but a lot of the inspiration for the music, the melodies, came from overcoming deep personal challenge with my family, with my sister. My sister, who's younger than me, she was diagnosed with cancer right at the beginning of deciding to write this album, and it really, the journey of her cancer process, the melodies really carried us. They carried our family. They came through at times when we needed them. So these melodies on the album, there's 8 songs, and these melodies really were channeled through for healing. They were channeled through for bringing wisdom and light to situations that I didn't think we could see the light in them. The fireworks are going off here. They're saying yes, they agree. Yeah, this music really came as a gift to bless our family and really bless everybody who hears them. So really, they are musical gifts. They are seva. They are a gift to everybody going through challenge, any particular challenge. And yeah, they are my gift to the world. So
Thank you so much. It's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful gift. Very, very beautiful gift, Marcy. And we're blessed to have you with us tonight. Really blessed. And thank you for sharing about your sister. And yeah, so many of us are having to deal with passages, but my gosh, to lose a sister at such an early age like that is unimaginable, really. So thank you for channeling that pain and that situation into these musical offerings. It's a beautiful modeling for us. Thank you.
thank you so much.
Well, when we started putting this show together, I just wanted to invite all my favorite spiritual teachers. And so Reverend Michael, yes. Lynn Twist, yes. Andrew Harvey, yes. And I now get to introduce 2 of my absolute favorite spiritual teachers that I have so much respect for. And of course, I'm talking about Satya and Suzanne Raja. They are, to me, the perfect balance. They've been married forever. They've raised children. They've been incredible business people and entrepreneurs, and they've written the books, and they've done all sorts of creative expressions. And again, like the TwinRay, it's who they are as beings that supersedes all of that. Again, they're generous, just like I was talking about with the TwinRay, and they're loving and they're consistent. I've been in their home, and they're always like that. They're consistently loving, and they bring together. Their company is called Warrior Sage, and I love that about Satyan and Suzanne, because Satyan does have that fierce warrior discipline and focus that we need, but he also has the wisdom and the sage. And then he always brings in the beauty and the equal partnership of his beloved, Suzanne, the divine feminine. So I love having both of you here. And again, kind of tonight, we're sharing who our influences have been. So I'm eager to hear who have been some of your spiritual influences and how have they impacted you?
Well, first of all, it's always a blessing, Brother Scott, and you and Deborah and all the team who put this together in week after week after week for the upliftment of all beings. You just do this so fully. I want to honor and acknowledge that and ask all of our brothers and sisters to acknowledge all of you and your team for this tremendous offering, because you're transmitting what I believe is the heart of what's needed right now, which is wisdom in all its forms. You've been doing it for you've been doing it for decades, since a young man, but in this form, for I know close to 2 years, maybe even beyond. And what you're injecting is the essence of what Suzanne and I feel is the most important thing on this for us individually and as a society collectively, is embodying wisdom as the heart of all decision making. Our leadership is sorely lacking wisdom. They're coming from motives other than wisdom. And we know this. We can feel it. And we can correct this, realign, by making wisdom the core of our search. Not attainment, not more stuff, not more metaphysical stuff, not more material stuff, but really, there was a time when aiming for wisdom, being wiser, was the highest pinnacle of life. And now we put monks in TV commercials and make them seem hilarious and stupid, and we've made it not cool. It's tough. But the thing about wisdom, it's eternal and always cool. It's the coolest thing around. It's the most sexiest thing because it's true. It's the most penetrating because it's real. And it's the most lasting because it's eternal. And this is our nature. And so I welcome all of us right now to come into our highest alignment, because we already have a natural tuning for it. Everyone knows this. We all are reminders of it in our own unique way. And I believe this is the time to surrender as much as we can the reins of control to the tuning fork that's already within, which is wisdom itself. What have we learned already? Not what we need to learn more. What have we learned already that we could apply deeper? That's the walk of wisdom.
Yeah. And, my spiritual teachers are my husband, my children. I tell you, if they're not my spiritual teachers, I don't have any, because it's a school of life, really. And it really shows me where I'm at in terms of my frequency. How willing am I to really open to them and to feel them and to be seen by them, and to be really, our children have our DNA. And so they are keenly able to activate the parts of us that no one else knows, no one else can see, no one else knows about that, right? I can see others just going, yeah, we recognize that. And it's just, how far have we traveled spiritually when in your face they're like, what, people pay you for this? I look you in the face and say that, and you're like, yeah, but I do so much. It's a call to rise. It's a call to rise. And really, for me, anyone in my sphere is my spiritual teacher. My community is my spiritual teacher. My neighbor next door that I don't know yet is my spiritual teacher. Each and every being that I encounter, if that is not my spiritual teacher, then I need to wake up. And so for me, I have the joy of each and every day, the joy and the reckoning of where I'm at by being in contact with others. And I feel like that is the thing that is missing and is an opportunity for us to deepen, is in contact, deep contact and depth of contact. And it is there, and it's in this universe where we all are, is where there's the possibility for growth and transformation. And so I bow to each and every one of you, and to my husband, my children, and those that I serve. I thank you for being my spiritual teachers to help me to be where I am today. Thank you so much, Scott and Deborah, for having this forum. You are blessed angels for holding this, for others to be able to drink from this well of spiritual alignment and upliftment. So
Mhm.
I thank you. And it's a pleasure to be here.
A lot of people are now saying thank you. That is so well said, and I love that we're going to be bringing in Yogananda and different people, but you brought it down to like daily life so beautifully. It's like everyone we connect with can be, because ultimately it's all God experiencing itself as Satan, as Suzanne, as the different people in our Zoom room. So, thank you so much for just that incredible reminder. Very, very beautiful and very, as I like to say, perfectly human. I do want to ask you to share with anybody in our audience who doesn't know about Warrior Sage. Tell us a little bit about what's happening with Warrior Sage and how people can get involved if they're not already.
Well, please, you're welcome to come and visit our website, warriorsage.com. And we have a whole bunch of content library. Our focus is working with leadership. We work with different companies, corporations. Leaders are on the forefront of making positive change on the planet, and we help them really come into their highest alignment and empowerment and impact, so they're able to achieve their aims in life, their highest intentions, taking the path of least resistance. So please take a look around. There's many shares and experiences from many great leaders, many great expressions of wisdom, and a lot of wisdom from many, many amazing people to drink from. So please come and visit anytime you'd like.
Beautiful. Well, thank you both so much for taking some time out. I know you're in the midst of something very special today. So thank you for taking time out to be with us. I love you both so very, very much.
Oh, we love you too.
Love you.
God blessings. Thank you so much, you too.
Bye. Bye, Deborah.
Bye.
Hi.
Bye, y'all. And Astarius, I love you. You don't know me, but I'm blown away by you. I've been like listening to your stuff in the background. It's blowing me away for like a long time. Thank you, sir.
Oh, that's very cool. I'm bringing Astarius on. There we go. There he is. That's the thing. It's like we all get to meet each other in all these wonderful, wonderful ways. And some of us have known each other for decades, and some of us meet for the first time through Saturday Night Alive. So, well, we love our wisdom jewels. And to introduce tonight's wisdom jewels, here's Deborah.
Thank you, Scott. And I want to echo what they just said, that a lot of my great spiritual teachers are my cohorts. And I want to honor Jan Kaplan and Jay Mayer, who have been our partners on the show. And they create the incredible wisdom jewels every single week. And they are brilliant at what they come and what they create every week and what they bring to us. So I want to honor them for being my spiritual teachers with the wisdom jewels every single week, and incredible ways that you bring through the creativity and all that you create with that, as well as helping us with all the shows that you've helped us with over the years. They've been here since pretty much the very beginning, right by our side. So I want to honor you so much for being such a big part of this continuing in so many ways, with 89 shows as of tonight. So thank you. And they've done an incredible job this time. We asked them to do a very special one this time. And so we're going to be blessed by the wisdom jewels that honor our spiritual teachers of past and present.
And this particular one is going to be a little bit longer than usual, because we're going to see a lot of images, video of some of our most favorite spiritual teachers. So kick back and enjoy. And again, thank you, Jay and Jan, for creating this.
People ask me, Sadhguru, how do you operate with all these people? All kinds of horrible questions they're asking, they're doing this, they're doing that. I said, my life is not about them, it's about me. It's about how I am. It's about me. It doesn't matter how they are, that's their choice. But how I am is my choice. This is my way. No matter what they do, I'm like this. Because I have not given that freedom to anybody, that somebody can freak me, somebody can make me angry, somebody can make me happy, somebody can make me unhappy. These privileges I kept to myself.
पे चल के देता जो ये संदेश, प्रेम के रंग सब रंगे, सबका है एक खिवैया, भीड़ में हो या रहे अकेला, आनंद में रमता जो नंदती 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 देवा, नंदती 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 देवा, नंदति 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 देवा, नंदति 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 देवा।
That was wonderful, wasn't it? I'd love to invite all of our Zoom room guests to put into the chat box which of the teachers you just saw that Jay and Jan presented that have impacted you. I bet a lot of you love Amachi, certainly the Beatles, Sadhguru. So definitely put in, I'm seeing Jesus. And we really want to hear from all of you. I mentioned this at the start of the show, but we want to know who are the spiritual teachers that have influenced you and perhaps how, what are the ways they have impacted you? We want to know those things. And again, I'm going to bring Jay and Jen up just for a minute because they do so much. And thank you, Jay. Thank you, Jan, for putting that together. And tonight's after show, we're going to show some longer segments. We have a wonderful sequence with Andrew Harvey and several other teachers. So that's going to be the after show, is hearing from all of you who your spiritual teachers are, and then watching some additional videos. So thank you, you guys. Really great work. Really, really wonderful. And I'll just kind of read for anybody in Facebook, some of the ones that are coming in: Wayne Dyer, Jesus, Rabbi Joseph Gelberman, St. Francis of Assisi. Somebody wrote Jay and Jan. There you go, spiritual teachers. Amma, TwinRay, absolutely. Sadhguru, Master Jesus, Baba Muktananda. And it's flying in so fast, I can't keep up with everybody now, but please keep putting it in there. So Deborah and I are really excited because we are moving forward and we are moving our show forward. I'm going to bring Deborah on with me. And we want to share with you a little bit about where things are going in our future. We went in depth in our early Zoom room show, so a lot of you already know, so we're not going to repeat all of that. But we do want to encourage you to continue to please support us, to support the Global Peace Tribe. And there's wonderful ways to do that. While we kind of talk, I'm going to put up right there our little supportgpt.com way that you can support us. And just take your camera and go towards it, and boom, it brings up how you can donate. And it is tax deductible. This will take you to a tax deductible place. And Deborah, anything you want to share?
just that this is really important for the continuation, because your love and your participation on the show is great, but your green love really gives us the juju to continue forward. So your tax deductible donations for this year are really, really important for us to lay the foundation of continuing in so many wonderful ways in 2022. So this month has been the campaign to support the Global Peace Tribe. So we have the foundation, the solid foundation to go forward and produce shows every week and produce our special events. And we have all kinds of other incredible ideas, especially reaching out to all people around the world that are wanting this kind of love and light. So we want to have the juju, the green juju, to be able to reach them and bring them in and give them this love and light and inspiration to see this challenging time as an awakening time, because that's what we really stand for, that we are here to create the new world together. So your green love today, and especially this month, is going to help us do that. And you can always get the donation in our newsletters, and we're putting it on all the links here now. So thank you so much for your green love.
Thank you. And I am so excited to share with you what we're going to be doing in the winter season. You know, this is next week is our last episode. We've been doing Saturday Night Live in a quarterly basis. And so we are going to start a wonderful new winter season with a new name. We are calling it The Awakening World. And the awakening world is what's really happening. And we acknowledge that it is a difficult time. It's a challenging time. Birth is messy, and we are in a rebirth. This is it. This is the time that we all have been preparing for in our lives. We are going to experience an incredible transformation that's already begun. And that's why we're so blessed to have people like the TwinRay who are helping to guide us. And that's why Deborah and I have been so dedicated to bringing to all of you what's really happening. So the awakening world is going to be what we're calling our show. And we're actually going to dedicate each weekend to a topic. I'll continue to do my Friday night show, but we're going to also call that The Awakening World, Friday night edition. And Trish will still co-host with me. And then the Saturday night edition of The Awakening World, every week I will have a different co-host while Deborah takes a hiatus. And my co-hosts are going to include some of your absolute favorites: Kristen Hoffman, Larissa Stowe, Eden Amadora, Andrew Harvey is going to co-host with me. So we're very, very excited about that. And every weekend we'll take a topic and we'll go in depth. We'll talk about it with some really wise people on Friday night. We'll do a Saturday night inspirational variety show, similar to Saturday Night Live, with music and magic and presenters, but a little bit more tight, a little bit more interactive. And then I'll still continue to have my Sacred Sunday show to kind of wrap up that particular theme, that particular topic. And we want to hear from you what topics you want to hear. What are the themes you want? Of course, we're going to continue to do what we've done before: relationships, the environment, spiritual awakening and ascension, UFO, and our galactic family. And if there's other topics that you want to hear or other speakers you want to see, put it in, like I see right now, somebody put in Zach Bush. TJ Woodward, who was on my show last night, just did a show with Zach, and he's talking to Zach about coming in and working with us. Charles Eisenstein's been on our show a few times. He'll be on again, I'm sure. And so definitely put in the chat box who you want to see, and please continue to support us. And Deborah is going to put in the chat box right now how you can register for our winter season, the winter season of The Awakening World, where we all are going to collaborate and support each other. And what we started as Saturday Night Live has grown into the Global Peace Tribe, and the Global Peace Tribe is bringing you Saturday Night Live shows, The Awakening World, and many other shows. And we will continue to grow with special events. Deborah is designing some really fun and wonderful special events with some of your favorite teachers and presenters, as we've already done. So welcome, everybody. It's an exciting time. It's a time of change and growth, and we're really blessed to be bringing that to you. And now to present our next wonderful presenter. here. Oh no, we're actually going to see a video of Lynn Twist. We had Lynn on the show a few weeks ago, but when we were talking to her, we also asked her about her spiritual teachers, and she gave us a great little video soundbite, which we'll play. But to tell you a little bit more about Lynn, here's Deborah.
Yes, thank you, everyone. And just letting you know, for Awakening World, I totally support it. I won't be on the shows as much, but I am totally supporting growing the Global Peace Tribe to come out in a really stronger way. And I want to honor now Lynn Twist being with us. As you know her from Pachamama Alliance, and she has been an incredible light worker working with Teresa and many other people, Mother Teresa. And we asked her to please share who are her spiritual guides, because she is such a powerful woman on the planet. And this is the very special transmission that she gave to us for this night.
Lynn, thank you so much for joining us. And tonight we're looking at the influences of wisdom keepers and spiritual teachers from the past and how they've impacted the people that we look to today. And you're certainly someone that I've personally looked to. You've inspired me for years with Pachamama Foundation and way back when I learned how to do Awakening the Dreamer. And I'm curious, we all are curious, who have been some of your influences? How do they impact you? And perhaps even maybe who you might model yourself after?
Well, my greatest teachers, I've been so fortunate to have the opportunity to work with some incredible people, or to be around some incredible people. And I'll start with Buckminster Fuller. Buckminster Fuller was a seminal teacher for me. And everything that I talk about that has to do with sufficiency and scarcity, which is one of the messages that I speak about very frequently and is also part of my book, The Soul of Money, really comes directly from Buckminster Fuller, from Bucky, who lived in the 20th century and got into his 80s and was called the grandfather of the future. And Bucky was such a role model for me, because when he was 27 years old, he contemplated taking his own life. He considered himself a failure. He hadn't really provided well for his family. He had lost one of his children to a very tragic death. And he considered himself a throwaway human being. And rather than taking his life, he decided, well, if I'm a throwaway human being, maybe I can take this ordinary person, this life, and dedicate it to see if one ordinary human being can make a difference, one little individual can make a difference that impacts all of humanity. And so from that moment on, rather than choosing to die, he chose to live what I call a committed life. And out of that, Bucky invented the geodesic dome. He invented an electric car in 1949. He predicted and prophesied much of what's happening today. And he was an extraordinary human being. And he coined the phrase, a little individual can make a difference that impacts all humanity. He also coined the phrase that got picked up by Werner Erhard, another one of my teachers, and the whole Est world, which I was part of, which is to make the world work for everyone with no one and nothing left out. That came from the relationship between Buckminster Fuller and Werner Erhard, two of my greatest teachers. And then Werner Erhard, out of his relationship with Buckminster Fuller and others, John Denver being one, created the Hunger Project. And I was part of the EST network at that time, Erhard Seminars Training, which has now become the Landmark Education Corporation. And although it has a different name now, the very core of that training, those programs, has nurtured and really awakened me like nothing I can ever talk about enough. I just loved all of the work that came from the S Network and Landmark. It totally woke me up. It set me on a path of giving my life to something larger than myself. And Werner Erhard in particular, an absolute genius walking on this earth, in my opinion, who survived scandals and all kinds of things that he was accused of, some of which was probably valid. Never mind, this man is a genius. And what he created for me and for millions of people has generated all kinds of cascading projects, initiatives, results, and transformations in this world. So Werner Erhard, Buckminster Fuller, and then Joan Holmes, who was the CEO, president, and executive director of the Hunger Project. She devoted her life and still is devoted to ending world hunger. And the way that Joan found her groove, her swim lane, her essence was through committing herself to ending world hunger. She was an educator and probably a remarkable educator, but when she took on ending world hunger, it shaped her, it molded her into an absolutely brilliant person who's tapped into source. And so Buckminster Fuller, Werner Erhard, Joan Holmes, they shaped me. They gave me the life that I have today. And then I must acknowledge Archbishop Desmond Tutu, who had a huge impact on me. Mother Teresa, who I got to work with when I was working in the Hunger Project in India, who had a huge impact on me because I was raised as a Catholic. And so she walked on water and glowed in the dark as far as I was concerned, but really taught me and returned me to my relationship with Spirit, and I'll even say God. And so those people, plus the unknown, and in many cases, people will never know, the people that I worked with on the ground in Bangladesh, in India, women and men and children in the conditions of hunger and poverty, in Senegal, in Ghana, in Guinea-Bissau, in Zambia, in Zimbabwe. And then finally, the indigenous people of the Amazon, who have been my greatest teachers in this chapter of my life. So those are some of my heroes and sheroes that shaped me, that molded me, that contributed to me, that made me into someone who could really make a difference.
Mm. Isn't it interesting to hear the people
Thank you so much for sharing all of that.
Oh.
And I did not know that.
It's so interesting to hear from people that I respect and honor who their influences are. And of course, we're going to hear from several more tonight. I get to turn it back over to our wonderful collaborators for tonight's show, who I don't want to gush too much, but I really am so grateful for their presence in my life and their presence in our world. And already so many people have been touched by them. I was at a wedding this afternoon. That's why I'm here in Maui, to support a couple that I've worked with for years that got married this afternoon. And the woman who had been hired as the camera person, who I had never met before, comes up to me and she goes, "Oh my God, I can't believe you're here. I love your show. And I love the TwinRay. The TwinRay, whenever I need inspiration, I go to the TwinRay now, and I learned about them from your show." And so I said, "Well, you got to watch tonight." So it's pretty wonderful. And so with no further ado, because we've already done a wonderful introduction, I'm going to turn it back over to Sananda and Shekinah, the TwinRay.
Thank you, beloved Scott.
Thank you so much. That's so sweet. What a wonderful story, and what a small world.
Isn't it something?
Everywhere. Yes.
No.
Yes, it is. So, beloveds, this segment in particular, we really want to take our time with, because it's very special, especially today, and very meaningful to us. We might cry, we might not, but you'll feel us regardless. As yesterday, one of the brightest lights on the planet shed her body and took her last breath. And this beautiful being was very, very close to us, very, very near to us, and certainly one of our greatest inspirations.
Yeah. This is one of our closest friends, our closest teachers, a grandma, a healer, an alchemist, a beautiful being, really. Her name's Grandma Chi. She's one of the greatest healers, really, of history that the world will never know. She dedicated her life to healing. She dedicated her life to the divine sciences. And we wanted to really take a moment through this segment to honor her and to honor her life and how it touched us in many, many ways. This particular beautiful woman, she was remarkable, really. One of the most remarkable beings that we've ever been graced to really come across.
By far.
Yeah, just her humility, her selflessness, every single breath that she would take, it was dedicated to either healing someone, feeding someone,
clothing someone,
teaching someone. Really, she was, in her later years, her body became so fragile after the amount of healings that she would consistently do. She was able to heal cancer just with a literal click of her fingers. She was amazing in that respect. She healed thousands and thousands of people. Like literally, she would have lines out of her door with people that with all sorts of illnesses, but cancer was her specialty. And she was able to pull that out of people in mere hours, if not days. And when I first met her, just to share a little bit of a story, about a decade ago, or thereabouts, the day before I met her, a being appeared to me and said, I'm going to be bringing someone to you. And this being... Someone that you already know quite well, but just not in this lifetime. And I didn't even know really who this being was that was communicating to me. It's the first time in this life I had actually received that communication. And that being turned out to be Babaji. And I had no idea who Babaji was at the time, but he had visited me and said that I'm bringing you to someone special. And then I ended up on the doorstep of Grandmaji, and she looked at me. She took one look at me and smiled. She said, nice to see you again. And we get to start all over in this life again. And I was really captivated by this woman in so many ways. Just really, didn't matter if you were a homeless person on the streets, or whether you were
a dignitary
or a world leader,
or royalty, or anything.
She would treat everyone exactly the same. And
she would speak to everyone exactly
the
same, and she could see right through every single person.
Yeah, in fact, she would actually feel more sorry for people that would cling on to the higher titles and feel like life's purpose was about actually acquiring titles or acquiring status. She would feel really sorry for people like that, and she would really know that they would have to unlearn all that to become humble in the face of spirit. But really, with every breath, even when her body was ailed, she would still be filling her entire truck with blankets so she could drive around and deliver blankets.
We would drive her around.
We would drive her around and to deliver blankets to the homeless people.
And make little packets with her and
these little care packets that she would call. We'd go to the dime store and buy all these different...
Everything. Anything that you could possibly imagine that someone would need that couldn't take care of themselves would be in that packet that we would purchase for her.
Yeah, would create these, and she was so resourceful like that. She was extremely resourceful. Everything that she saw, she could see how she could utilize that in order to serve someone and to help someone. Really, her life was in such selfless service. And she has so many phenomenal stories. There's this one story. She was invited, and she was just a regular householder. She never wanted to be on the world stage at all.
Well, she had everyone, really, so many people who heard about her, wanting to write about her, wanting to publicize her, and she didn't want a bar of that. She didn't want anything to have to do with that at all.
Yeah, she was really didn't want to be in this world, but wanted nothing to do with the world in that sense. But
share this beautiful story.
So there's one time, she came into this profound gift. She had always this clairvoyance and this mediumship and this psychic ability to really just see through someone and read incredibly their entire life stream. She had that gift, but there was this one moment when she met someone that was able to heal her of a cancer that she had, but he was sworn to secrecy, and she wasn't able to learn. She's like, I want to learn this. This can save the world. This can really save the world. And she's like, I can't. And this was someone that was a high elder of a specific indigenous tribe, and he was by 5 years old taken to the caves and basically became the main healer for all the tribes, all 13 tribes at that time. He was a Lakota elder, and he was sworn to secrecy and wasn't able to share this science with her. And so in her frustration, she yelled and screamed at God, she said. And she said, why would you give someone this incredible ability but not allow them to share this gift with the world? And that evening, she was instantly transformed. She was touched by this potent light, this incredible master actually that came to her. And within 2 months, she became this profound, world-renowned healer. Even though she didn't want to be known, she became known, and she was invited to be basically healer of different places around the world. And there's this one location that she was invited to go to, which was Brazil, and she was asked to give a teaching in front of 1,000 people, and of indigenous and native elders and the tribes in Brazil. And she went up to there was this couple that were having their land taken away from them, and they didn't have the money to protect their lands. And she put her hand on their head, and put her hand on one of their heads, and basically
she knew exactly who she was going to, who had the purity of heart to be able to share.
And she demonstrated something quite amazing. And this young man's mouth started filling up with sand, and just started pouring out all this sand, and out of his mouth came these precious stones like diamonds and rubies. And she then said, well, now you have the stones, now you have the money to protect your lands. And this is just one of the things that she would do. When she did that, she was seen, and she was quite targeted actually, where she was seen for that ability. And so many wanted to learn from this. And so she didn't prize any of that. She just saw them as, that those miracles, she could materialize things at will, as she was incredible like that. When we came into contact with her, the amount of mystery that would be unveiled by being with her was just amazing.
And we know, especially our students who are watching and who are present, also experience a lot of the things that we're sharing right now. And this is because, we are lineage holders of this. She passed this on to be able to carry into the world, and she taught us the divine sciences.
Yes, well, she was given this directly by Babaji, and then Babaji sent me to her in order to learn this. And then I went on later years actually and sat with Babaji and finished that knowledge. Yes. But she was a really profound being. The amount of healings that she would do in a day, just in a day. She'd wake up at 6 a.m. in the morning, and she would start healing at 7 a.m. until 7 p.m. at night. And she would do this for many, many, many years. And we wanted to really honor her, as yesterday was the day that she shed the body. And today is the day that we've been inspired to co-create this beautiful show with Deborah and Scott. So it's all about teachers and the significant teachers. And she was really a profound light.
And out of all the things that I can say that she shared with us, and we again were very, very close to this beautiful being, very, very close. One of the things that always she and I giggled about was she would say how similar she and I were, and that we had those same gifts. And it was always something that, she had never known anyone like me, and I had never known anyone like her. And it was this beautiful, loving friendship and And there's just nothing like that.
Yeah, it was actually quite interesting when I first brought Shekinah to meet Grandma G. She laughed again and looked again at her and said, "Oh yes, I know who you are. And welcome, my dear." And then she instantly said, "Grandma approves." Just was
So happy we were together.
extremely happy that we were together again. And so we really want to celebrate her life and all the many things that she did and all the many miracles that she performed. Was such an inspiration, just a really humble heart. And in fact, one of our greatest honors was really to help escort her yesterday as we were helping her, go through the veils of higher dimensions.
We've been helping her go through the veils for
the last,
strongly since Tuesday.
Yeah. But yesterday was the day.
Yesterday was Friday.
And she was someone, she had two sides to her. She had this incredible yogic wisdom, sage-like presence, but also she had this ancient grandmother. In fact, she was given the hide, the skin of the white buffalo. She was honored as the wisdom holder of the white buffalo, to hold all the 13 tribes together and met the 13 medicines of the tribe. And so she was someone that held the walking stick, and it's our great honor that we've been blessed in our life to carry that tradition forward.
That's what she asked us to do.
That was her request, to carry that forth. And
well before she passed, she asked us to do this, and of course she knew we were already doing this, but now even more.
And she's a great master that has other bodies as well. So she's dropped one body, but she'll
jump into another one.
She'll jump into another body. So, really,
that's part of the science.
That's part of the science, and that's one thing that we really feel inspired to share with our community, how to properly inhabit the world in such a conscious way.
Yes, absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Be honored to have you.
Yeah.
Somebody needs to mute. One of our panelists needs to mute. Just a reminder.
It's actually Scotty, if you want to mute him. He's muted now.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Debbie. It's so beautiful. First of all, you're sharing the kind of the personal level of it. And it's poignant because so many of us are have had to deal with death, or having to deal with death. So many that have passed. And again, you're just doing such a beautiful job of, as you share, just we can feel all your love and appreciation for this incredible spiritual teacher, and how remarkable that she made her exit just before you do this show that we had decided to do months ago on our beloved spiritual teachers. Isn't that something?
Yeah.
We knew she was doing this.
Yeah.
We knew on Tuesday that this was happening, that this would be on Friday.
And when she left, the body, it's so amazing that she
didn't have a wrinkle on her face.
She didn't have a wrinkle on her face. She was about 70 odd years old, and she didn't have a wrinkle on her face.
She had wrinkles, but then they went away because this is what happens in a conscious death.
The body is filled with light.
The body is filled with light.
And moves through. So it was such a miracle just in her passing as well.
And that was such a beautiful teaching for her family as well.
Yeah.
That, very normal sort of family members to watch this incredible being exit the vessel, exit the flesh. And so we honor so deeply. There's so much to be said about this beautiful being, and what's even more so is that she represents all spiritual teachers. She represents all hearts. She represents what love is at its truest, most genuine, most authentic, most unmasked form. Her every breath was that of love. Every thought was that of love. And that is the merit of a true spiritual teacher.
And saint.
She was a saint.
Yeah.
She is.
You are clearly going to carry on her lineage in many wonderful ways. And I'm really excited about what's going to happen next, because we are going to see Shekinah's miracle video. I'm going to have Shekinah tell the story about it for a moment. I just want to add, when Deborah and I visited them for a week in August, they do so much. There are all these incredible major paintings that would take years, you would think, to make. And Sananda's like, oh yeah, well, I did those. And all these, every room was like perfectly decorated with all these designer everything. And Shekinah was like, oh, well, yeah, I created that. And so they are multidimensional beings operating on multidimensional levels, including Shekinah's beautiful voice. So Shekinah, we're about to play your miracle video. And as we play it, I know that we talked about all of us thinking of the people we've lost, that we still love, still connected to. But I'd like to ask you to share just a little bit about the remarkable story of Shekinah's miracle video.
Yes, beloved Scott, I'm happy to do that. So, I just take a quick breath. Okay. So, last year around this exact time, it was the eclipse solstice time. I was at about 3 o'clock in the morning, just by myself, at the center of the node there around the obelisks, the crystal obelisk, and I started singing a prayer. And right before I started singing it, my telephone, which was on the other side of the room, started recording. So it started recording my voice singing a cappella just by myself in this beautiful temple space on a very auspicious time and transformative period into the Aquarian age, and afterwards, when I kind of came back in, I went to my phone and I showed Sananda, I was like, oh my goodness, this has been recording all by itself. And I knew then that it was something that had a transmission with it. It was something that was going to be shared at the right time. And it feels like it's the right time now to go ahead and honor all beloved spiritual teachers, all who have passed, all who have given their last breaths in service to the divine within the eternal spark of all life. And this is the Beckwith. And would you like to share a little bit about the Beckwith, my love?
Yes, it's a Hebrew prayer. It's not normally done by singing it, so it's quite special in that.
I like to put music.
Yes, sung to prayer. Mm-hmm. And this is the 48 names of God. It's a specific formula in the Hebrew dialect of expressing the 48 names of God in order to produce miracles. That's why it's called the miracle prayer, the Anabakora. And we want to offer this to all beloved teachers, all, and especially Grandmaji, and also all that are transitioning in this time. There's many that are transitioning. They've been trailblazers for the past age and to really set the stage for this Aquarian time. Yes. And there's many that are transitioning and they're assisting on the other sides. And we want to really honor this and offer this honor to all of them.
Hana bekoge julat yaminecha tati tehua kabelina tamcha sabenu darenu noa Hana bekoge julat yaminecha Nagibod do shahe yichudekha kvevat shamurem Hana bekoge julat yamineha tati tehua Bachem tachalem rachame zirkateka tamid gamlem Hana bekoge julad yamine hatati tehua. Asin kadosh burov tufka naheladatecha. Ana bekoge julad yamine hatati tehua. Yachid gelamcha penesochae kadushatecha Hana bekoge julat yamineha tati tehuha Shaveinu kabel ushma sarkatenu yodeat alumo Hana bekoke julat yamineha tati tehuha Baruch Hashem kavod malchuto leolam ba'ed. Amen.
So much for an incredible transmission. I mean, let's all just take a moment of silence and breath as we feel that vibration of love, that vibration of passion, as we remember our beloveds that are on the other side. And thank you, Grandmachi. All right. The Twin Ray will be back a little bit later on in the show. And here's Deborah.
So beautiful. Thank you so much, TwinRay, for bringing us to that deep heart share, honoring your beloved teacher and allowing us to honor all our beloved teachers that have passed or are passing. Very beautiful. And now we get to bring up another incredible being, Astarius Miraculi. He is many, many things. He has facilitated spiritual community for more than 40 years. He's an Ascension ambassador. He's a didgeridoo vocal harmonic sound healer. He's a poet. He's an astrologer. He's a Reiki master. He's got 24 music albums and 2 books. But mostly, he's here for the ascension of Mother Gaia and humanity. He is on purpose all the time. I never see him not on purpose with this. And he carries such a high vibration of love and high frequency. Really beautiful. And he is a master. He's going to share a lot of different things with us. Some spoken word, his didgeridoo, some music, his heart, his wisdom. And he's been a friend for a long time. Both Scott and I have known him in community, wanted to bring him on the show. This is a perfect show for him to come on and share with you now. So welcome, Astarius. Welcome to our show.
Thank you, beloved. It's an honor to share in this sacred space and to be a catalyst for transformation and to bless the world. It's a wonderful opportunity. So in terms of my offering, I would love it if you'd play that video first, and then the things that I'm going to share in terms of spoken word, I'll share after that.
You
But
got
I'd love
it.
to.
Absolutely. Here's a,
Yes,
here's a
that-
wonderful video to kind of introduce Astarius.
The frequency of sound is a healing force. There's only one life in which we all share. Only one love through which we all care. Only one being in all that we're seeing, a slumbering giant, is what we are freeing. This is a reflection of the endless nature of eternity, therefore, beloved, it's waking up that eternal connection that you have with the Most High and calling your own to your absoluteness. This one's for you. The wise one's wisdom is the blind one's sight. Ground in this truth of the oneness. Anything to be known about the whole universe can be found within any one of us. And so sound is a sonic resonance of consciousness that has the capacity to trigger within us a remembering of who and what we truly are. Ground in this truth of the oneness, of the wholeness that we all are. We each are our own version of the universe, our own version of the Most High. Thank you so much for sharing that. And I just want to give honor, thanks, and praise to God, Goddess Absolute, my first and foremost teacher, to the clan of the trumpet angels who have taught me about the resonance of using the sacred sound. My mama and my daddy, Elizabeth Clare Prophet, George Adair, Elizabeth Valsala, Abraham Hicks, and all of my teachers, known and unknown, named and unnamed. I'm so grateful for all of them. And I'd like to share now. The first piece is called Song of Ascension. And it's something I wrote completely on the road. I'm safe at home in heaven's bed, not catching hell on earth instead. Many worlds did I create before my dawn in fleshly state. Traveler through eternity, timelessness, my legacy, journey to an endless end. I'm everywhere and every when. Nowhere did my life begin, and it shall never, never end. All times are now all spaces here, and there is no reason to fear. While every living moment owns all past, present, future zones, I am the universal whole with multi-selfhood as my goal. As the spirit of the one creation is how I have fun. So from the great and central sun, legions of my spirit sprung to form and roam the galaxy to learn from every part of me. The lesson of the one in all, and pain of separations fall from high to lowest frequency. All I ever find is me. My mission lives in all dimensions, oneness being my prime intention. In all the mirrors of myself I see true love and godly wealth. And once while traveling on the earth, I forgot my birthless birth. A bitter war I waged with me, forgot that I was whole and free. Once upon eternity, never did I fight with me, yet once upon a time and space, I lost my mind in human race. Not catching hell on earth, instead I'm safe at home in heaven's bed. Bridge across the seas of time, yield passage to this soul of mine. Let me taste the ecstasy I knew before human misery. A mighty essence then I am. I wrote the pages of the master plan, dancing on a sea of being, light and love. We're all decreeing, calling to my fallen self. Time to regain heaven's wealth. Cross the bridge of what's to be, where from your nightmare we are free. I hear the angels calling me, saying, wake up, goddess, wake up, God, you're really free. Wipe the nightmare from your eye, spread your wings and watch death die. Wipe the nightmare from your eye, spread your wings and watch fear die. Bridge across the seas of time, shackles of my soul unbind. Awake now from illusions dread. I'm safe at home in heaven's bed. Awake now from illusions dread. You, beloved, are safe at home in heaven's bed. I love you so much, and I thank you all for remembering who you are, celebrating all of those teachers that have influenced you. Thank you for knowing that you make a monumental impact upon the expansion of life. Life is better by virtue of you, and that you are an unduplicatable blessing under Creator Source, that Creator gets something from each and every one of us, each and every one of you, that Creator can't get from anywhere else. That the awareness of that be the means by which the self-esteem is skyrocketed through the roof of the cosmos. I'm so honored to support our expansion, to walk each other home and come back to that absoluteness. And thank you so much, Scott and Deborah, for just being a part of my journey for so many years. And I celebrate the contribution that you're making to the expansion of life. You know, thank you for the difference that you're making. You know, it is an honor to be in co-creation with you.
Thank you, beloved brother Astarius. And I want to give people two ways you can get more of this beautiful, beautiful man. His website is his name, Astarius, ASTARIUS.com. And he is truly, as we just heard, a sound wizard and an ascension ambassador. There's a lot of wonderful things happening on his website. In the upper right-hand corner, there's the video. And I really want to encourage everybody to go visit his website. But also, I want to go deep with this guy. You know, on my Sacred Sunday show, it's always people that I want to spend more time with. And I want to spend more time with Astarius, and he's always a busy guy. So I said, if I put you on my Sacred Sunday show, that way I get to spend hopefully a good hour, maybe even an hour and a half with him. So tomorrow morning, Astarius and I are going to be joined by Dr. Brenda Wade. You've seen her on this show a few times. And we're going to be talking about something really important, focusing on the Christ in Christmas. This is a topic that I know is important to you, Astarius, the Christ consciousness.
Absolutely.
And please, everybody, join Astarius and I tomorrow morning. It's going to be a really beautiful, beautiful experience, and important as we are in the Christmas season, whatever your denomination is, whatever your beliefs are, for us to really talk about what is the Christ consciousness that we're truly celebrating.
You know, one of the biggest revelations I got about that Christ spirit, I was at a church and the choir was just singing about Jesus. And all of a sudden I heard, gee, he's us. And it was such a profound revelation that followed that, because, I think that Christianity is truly Christ I-amity. So I'm looking forward to what we'll share, on tomorrow. And then I also just, for the sake of those who might not have made the connection, because spirit rap is the most prominent thing that I have out there. And many of you are aware of that. I invoke, decree, and dream awake the full cellular center of my being and all of that. And so it's been doing its work since the year 2000. So I just wanted to make that connection. Because some people have heard that and been blessed by it, and they never knew who it came from. Because people were giving it out like candy at one point, and that's wonderful because it was really healthy.
Thank you, Brother Astarius. I'm really looking forward to that together
It's
tomorrow.
an honor. Thank you so much, and much love to you and all of the beloveds. And lastly, have many miles on your smile and wiggle in your giggle and tingling in your boots and laughter ever after, putting your strut and some wings on your butt because you're always rising up at the top. There's room for all. It's just the bottom that's crowded, y'all, and so it is, and so it shall eternally be.
Aho, ashe. We are one love, and it is, of course, time for the Global Peace Tribe announcements. And again, I want to invite anybody who's watching us on Facebook. There's still time. Come on into our Zoom room. Go to globalpeacetribe.com and register. You'll get the link and come right on in. We still have a lot of show ahead of us. Reverend Michael Beckwith is coming on. Beautiful, beautiful interview I just did with him. And the TwinRay will be back. We've got more music with Marcy. So come on back into our Zoom room. There's a lot of show left to share with you. And just go to globalpeacetribe.com. And again, thank you to Unify and Alan Steinfeld and John and Summer Raymer and all of the broadcast partners that have been bringing our shows out to tens of thousands of people. We figured it out the other day and we've had over 1 million views of this show. So thank you very, very much. And to share more, I get to turn it over to Deborah.
Thank you, Scott. And I have a deep heart share with you that when we go into season 8, I may not be on the show so much because my calling is to work on the foundation of Global Peace Tribe and really help it grow to the next level and take a little break for myself as well. It will have been 90 shows every single week, and that's a lot. So I'm going to take a little bit of rejuvenation and also work on growing and spreading it from behind the scenes. But Scott's going to continue to produce the show with the Awakening World and have other amazing guests and co-hosts. So I will be around and sharing my heart and building from behind. So just wanted to let you all know that. but still continue to support Global Peace Tribe. We always ask for you to give us donations, but also you can help us promote. That's a great way. Just share with your friends, because so many people can use this light and this love that we share with you every Saturday night. So please, we will continue to give you our newsletters where you'll have all the links of the shows that you can share every week. So that really helps us get the word out. Also, volunteering will still happen. And if you want to be a sponsor for next year, that is always extremely helpful. So everything will continue and go to the next level, because that's what we're about at this point with this incredible time on the planet. So thank you so much. Love you all so much. And Scott's going to be producing a really incredible show on Christmas Day because it's his birthday. So Scott, would you like to share what you have planned for next week?
Yeah, thank you, Deborah. So what we're going to do is make next week all about you. It's Christmas night, so I recognize it's kind of a special day. And I want to acknowledge that some of you are going to be with family and some of you are going to be alone. And some of you are going to be all stuffed and ready to just kick back and relax. And some of you are going to want connection. And I want to acknowledge that all beings are welcome here as part of the Global Peace Tribe. So whether you're with your family or you're alone, you are so welcome to be with us. And we're going to celebrate you. We do have some wonderful musicians. Johanna Beekman, one of our favorite musicians, is going to be playing with us live. And I'm here in Maui, and I have a lot of amazing friends that are going to be coming here on Christmas Day to celebrate Christmas and my birthday, that are all remarkable human beings that you're going to get to meet and spend time with. Some of them have been on Saturday Night Live before. Magic Bernstein, Couture de Coster are both going to be with us live, with me here right in this studio. We'll actually be in Raphael's studio. And the amazing musician Raphael is going to be with us. He created the music to Disappear in albums. He's created over 25 albums. He's world-renowned, and he's going to be playing live music with us. And we're also going to open it up to hear from some of you. So it's going to be truly a very merry Maui Christmas. And we're looking forward to having you joining us. And I've got some special guest surprises that are going to be popping in as well. Some of your favorite people from Saturday Night Live. And again, want to let everybody know that we are launching our winter season is going to be called The Awakening World. And on Friday nights, it'll be co-hosted with Trish, who I've been doing the Friday Night Straight Talk show with. And then on Saturday nights, we will be having several wonderful guest hosts. And our guest hosts are going to include Kristen Hoffman, Larissa Stowe, Dr. Brenda Wade. She's going to be on my Secret Sunday show tomorrow, along with Astarius, the lovely Eden Amadora, and Trish. And they're going to kind of rotate. And then hopefully, if we're lucky, Deborah's going to come back and host with us as well. So each weekend, we're going to pick a theme, go deep into it, and share it with all of you. So please do register for the Awakening World. And I want to acknowledge a lot of you who have already registered. It's been popping up on my screen. So thank you, all of you who have registered. And you can register at different levels. One thing, when you go to the registration form, you'll actually notice that there's different ways, at different levels you can come in at. The people who come in at the $75 level, we're going to actually have Zoom meetings to get your input on the shows. And the people that register at the next highest level will be able to actually help produce the shows and participate in some of the shows or present, I really want you to do this topic. So we're really going to make it much more interactive with all of you as we co-create going on into the new season. So thank you very much, everybody, for being who you are. And we want to bring you in as we create these wonderful shows. 3 a week, 3 every weekend.
And Scott, what about our supporters party? Do you have that?
Yeah, thank you. Anybody who contributes at the $75 level or higher will be invited to our supporter party. And let me bring Deborah on here too. And our supporter party is going to be, I believe it's Tuesday night.
Tuesday night, December 28th.
Right, exactly. Tuesday night, December 28th. And Kristen Hoffman is going to be joining us singing music. And that's where we honor all of you. And so anybody that comes in at the $75 level or more, and for those of you who have already come in at a lower level, you can always add and come on in at that level so that we can have you join us. And at that supporter party, we're going to get a lot of feedback from all of you about what directions you'd like to see us grow in terms of our special events, topics, themes, presenters, musicians. We're all co-creating this together.
That includes people that have donated $75 in this last season. You will get invites from us in the next week.
Right.
So it should be fun.
Yeah, it's going to be great. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. And I think it's time for some more music, Deborah.
And Marcy, is that what we have? No, I think you were Reverend Michael.
Is Reverend Michael next? You're right. Absolutely. Okay. So I get to introduce one of my favorite. This is an amazing night for me to have the TwinRay, who I love so much, and Reverend Michael Beckwith. Over 30 years ago, I started going to these brand new services that I heard about. The guy named Reverend Michael, and he was starting something called Agape. And we were meeting on metal folding chairs in the basement of the Santa Monica Miramar Hotel. That's how it started. And he actually started in his living room, then he graduated to the Miramar. And I happened to be there. And I've been able to watch this incredible growth as Reverend Michael has become a world-renowned teacher, obviously the founder of the Agape International Spiritual Center of Truth. He's now known and loved by millions of people. Reverend Michael agreed to sit down and chat with me and share about his spiritual teachers. We actually talked for over an hour. So I will do an entire Sacred Sunday show sometime in the next few weeks where I'll show the entire video. But I want to thank the wonderful Alan and Son, Dr. and Mrs. Future, who took the video, and I said, can you bring it down to 12 or 15 minutes? And they did that, and they added some fun B-roll. Others, Dr., I'm going to just real quickly acknowledge there is Dr. and Mrs. Future. They do the promotional videos that you see, a lot of the video work, and also two of my oldest friends. We go way back. So we're looking forward to seeing the video that you created based on Reverend Michael. Let's take a look at it. Michael, thank you so much. Happy Holy Days. And we would love to know some of your spiritual inspirations, teachers, how they influenced you, and maybe how you apply that to your life.
The first one that comes to my awareness is probably the greatest mystic to come out of America, and that is a man by the name of Walter Russell. And Walter Russell went into a state of cosmic consciousness and wrote the Divine Iliad, all those volumes without any editing from a very expanded state of consciousness. He wrote The Secret of Light. He predicted the elements in the periodical table way before scientists even knew they existed. For me, when I had my spiritual awakening, I didn't have any teachers. I didn't know what was happening to me. And so as I studied him, it was my first foray into the understanding of what mysticism was, the understanding of the universal cosmic laws. And so it deeply imprinted me in a very powerful way. So there was a little small book that introduced me to him. It was called The Man Who Tapped the Secrets of the Universe. It was by Glenn Clark. It was about Walter Russell. And then that led me to reading another small little book called The Man Who Talked with Flowers. And that was about the great mystic known as George Washington Carver. And most people thought that George Washington Carver was a scientist, or that they understood him from the efficacy of the peanut and things of that. But that didn't even cover who George Washington Carver was. And so that led me to understand that George Washington Carver was a full-blown mystic who would go out at 4 o'clock in the morning and ask Mother Nature and ask the presence of God the usefulness of particular plants or the soil or the earth, and the plants would reveal to him their efficacy and their secrets. And then he would go into his laboratory and prove what he had gleaned through his mystical connection to Mother Nature. Most of the great ministers that were coming out at that particular time, he was their teacher. But they had to meet with him at night because he was a Black man, and it was forbidden for a Black man to teach white men anything. And then the other great teacher was Howard Washington Thurman. He was a great Christian theologian mystic. And he ended up writing this treatise called Jesus and the Disinherited. And he began to teach the teachings of Jesus and how the teachings of Jesus apply to everyone: white, Black, rich, poor, woman, man. And at the end of this treatise, he writes, I'm no longer necessarily a follower of Christianity. I'm a follower of the teachings of Jesus. So he separated himself from Christianity as it was at that time and followed the teachings of Jesus. And because of that, in many circles, he was labeled a heretic and shunned by the Christian religion. And he ended up starting a church in San Francisco called the Church of All People, which was the first integrated Christian church in America. He loved Emerson, he loved Thoreau, he loved, the great mystics of the ages, and still embraced the teachings of Jesus. So he was a great influence of me, because he was able to not only embrace the cosmic awareness of Jesus, but he was able to bring into the darkest moments, into moments in which humanity was walking through, and bring light to there without denying tragedy, without denying loss, without denying death, without denying disease that human beings walk through. He was able to bring into those dark moments this great teaching of this great teacher, Jesus. Sri Aurobindo out of India came into my life. He was very influential in my thinking and in my articulation. I even went to India. I went to Oroville in India. Sri Aurobindo was a cohort of Gandhi, and they were seeking to free themselves from the shackles and the oppression of Great Britain. And when Sri Aurobindo was jailed with Gandhi many times, one of the times in which he was jailed, he went into full-blown cosmic consciousness. And when he came out, he told Gandhi that, he was still with him, but that he was being called into another way of freeing humanity, and that was through spiritual teachings. I met Dr. King. I was a small boy, and he was doing a West Coast fundraising tour for SCLC, Southern Christian Leadership Conference. And my mother took me to Holman's Methodist Church to hear him speak. I was 9 or 10 years old. Wow. So after he spoke, I met him. We shook hands. I remember saying to my mother, wow, he has such soft hands. And she said, well, he does a different kind of work, baby, And then subsequently, when he was assassinated, it impacted me to want to make a difference on the planet. And then his articulation of what agape love was infused my soul with an understanding of unconditional love and the love of God operating in the human heart. Dr. Thurman was a great teacher of Martin Luther King Jr. And Dr. King carried the treatise of Jesus and the Disinherited with him. So Thurman greatly influenced King in terms of the nonviolent movement, the way that Gandhi influenced Thurman. Most people don't know that Gandhi was influenced by Thoreau's writings on civil disobedience influenced Gandhi. Gandhi influences Thurman. Thurman brings it back to Dr. King. I wear Dr. Thurman's robe when I speak at Rankin Hall at Howard University. They allow me to wear his robe when I'm speaking. When I first met Dr. Lawrence Carter, who is a powerful being at Morehouse College, he runs the Martin Luther King Chapel there. when he came to see me speak at Agape, the first thing that Lawrence Carter said was, wow, you're more Thurman-esque than Thurman, because he knew Dr. Thurman, because of the one, trans-denominational is what we call ourselves. Two, everybody was at Agape, doesn't, race, creed, color, sexual orientation, whatever, it's all there. So I think I picked up on that, but I was also raised that way. My mother's house was a hub of a lot of the civil rights movement as growing up. And we would meet at the house and we would decide which stores we were going to picket in order to bring about justice to people of color and wages and things like that. But in my mother's home, when we would meet, there were white people, Black people, Jewish people, straight people, gay people. It was all a part of the gestalt of me growing up. So a lot of things that people had to grow into. I didn't have to grow into that because that was just a part of my upbringing. When I was a freshman in college, and it was a mandatory talk by this man. I didn't know who he was at the time, even though I knew there was a Thurman Hall. We had to go hear Howard Thurman speak. So I'm a freshman, and the title of his talk was something along the lines of the benefits of slavery. So I'm 17 years old, I'm revolutionary, I'm activist minded, and I'm thinking, what, this old guy is talking about the benefits of slavery? What is he going to tell me? So me and my cohorts, we go in there and we sit like in the middle, third, fourth row back. We wanted to be right there and hear what this guy had to say. So after this long introduction about who he was, he begins to speak in a very slow cadence. And he talks about the African mind, this mind that was growing up in Africa near the rivers, very connected to the trees, very connected to the ground, this field of abundance, and then being stolen from their homeland and then placed all around the world. And that this capacity to have a deep sense of compassion, a deep sense of forgiveness, a deep sense of love from a field of abundance, not scarcity, was now spread all around the world for such a time as this. And that perhaps, of course, slavery was not a good thing. Of course, it's not God ordained. But perhaps the benefits of it was that you had these beings that were exiled from Africa all around the world that had this capacity for compassion and this capacity from this deep sense of connection of the earth was now all around the world.
Wow.
That was once only on this one continent. And we're sitting there like, what? I mean, we were mesmerized by this, you know what I mean? Now, I didn't understand all these concepts. I'm 17 years old. Later, maybe the next year I met him. He wanted to meet all the guys from California that had come in. And I'll share this with you. We had all dropped a tab of acid. We didn't know we were going to meet Howard Thurman that night. And we were on our way to get something to eat. And people caught up with us and says, Dr. Thurman wants to meet with you guys. He wants to meet with the guys who have been recruited from the big cities to the South to come to the school, Morehouse College, which Dr. King was an alumni of, which is why I went there. And I said, oh no, I don't want to meet him now. I dropped a tab of acid. I don't want to meet Dr. Thurman like this, but inevitably we got to meet him. And I remember he was down the hall and I'm, as they say back in those days, I was peaking on the acid. The closer I got to him, the more sober my mind became. And by the time I got in his presence, the clarity, the articulation, I didn't feel I was on acid at all. It was just in a very clear space. And we had a great conversation and told him about my experience at Morehouse. And he was checking in on us and had some great conversation. Shook his hand, he went his way, we went ours. And the further I got away from him, the more the effects of the acid began to take over again. It was amazing. It was like, in his presence, it was nothing. Out of his presence, it was like I could see trails. I remember sitting on the curb that night, watching the trails of cars go by, thinking about that phenomenon. Why did the clarity and the insight, why did that happen in his presence? And then when he left, I could take the acid took its toll. It was, again, years later, I'm aware of somebody's presence. I'm aware of the energy that people carry, you know. But I'll always remember that. Yeah, I mean, I don't do any drugs at this time in my life, and the last 40 years have not.
There is something that is greater than even the high of this drug.
Yes, he wasn't just an academician about mysticism. You know, he was having an encounter with the presence, and that carried a frequency and a vibration of love and joy and generosity and compassion that would emanate through his voice, you know. And even though I didn't meet a Walter Russell, I know he carried that frequency as well, though I didn't get to meet George Washington Carver. Yeah, it would be Carver and Sri Aurobindo. Sri Aurobindo really spoke about the potential of humanity being a God-man or God-woman and the inner visioning. I don't know if he used that language, but I remember in studying him, it impacted me. And I became very aware that it's really about the expansion of consciousness. So the vision process was born out of my awareness of in building Agape. We wanted to actually be the containers for unconditional love. We actually wanted to be the next great expression of human unfoldment, the next great unfolding of the human species, not just create a church, but actually carry the frequency of what we wanted to teach. And so it's an inner awareness of love, inner awareness of peace and of joy and of harmony. And I always have taught from the very beginning that you can't have permanently what you're not willing to become in consciousness. You can manipulate and have things temporarily. But if you're gonna have something in your life, then you have to actually become it in vibration, in frequency. You have to embody those particular frequencies. And then even if you temporarily lose it, it'll always come back because that's who you are. As we're not trying to be ascended masters, we're trying to be descended masters. We're trying to actually bring the energy here, not go there. And now when people try to go there, sometimes they don't embody it. And they live in this straining. When you begin to really wake up, you begin to realize that you're already enlightened. What you're doing is you're just removing the mental, emotional obstacles to seeing who you are. There's a great friend of mine who was a part of the Paramahansa Yogananda crew. We used to meditate at his house all the time. And during one of his meditations, there was an appearance to me as if Yogananda had appeared. And I can remember him saying to me that I was not to have a guru, that I was to go direct. I could be influenced, I can study, I can learn from all the teachers, but I was not necessarily to go the guru path. And that became my path. I studied, I was influenced by great beings on the planet, the ones that I've mentioned, but most of my growth was through direct encounter with the presence. So Paramahansa was an authentic, awakened being that I was influenced by as well. Yeah. Saturday Night Alive.
Well, that was pretty cool, wasn't it? And I just love all the amazing personal stories that he shared. And I really appreciated his honesty about what happened when he was 17. And isn't that something, learning at an early age how there's a greater influence than even psychedelics. So I want to remind everybody that, of course, you can go to the Agape International services that Michael does 3 times every Sunday. They're awesome. His services are online and they're great. And also his website, michaelbeckwith.com. And there's a lot of videos. And if you put your name and email in there, he will send you a link to his app. He's got a mobile app that's quite powerful. And so most of you, or many of you, know Reverend Michael, but for those of you that are new or that haven't really fully experienced him, go to his Agape online service, or if you're ever in Los Angeles, go to it live. And he's extraordinary, and I'm really grateful. And we will have a Sacred Sunday show sometime in January where I'll show the entire hour with Reverend Michael. All right, I'm turning it over to Deborah. Oh, before I do that, one other thing I wanted to mention. You heard Deborah and I talk about our supporters party. And our supporters parties are always really fun. And the next one is going to be on December 28th. We always have fun things. One time, Matt Kahn dropped in as a guest. So we know for sure we're going to have Kristen Hoffman singing music. We know for sure that Deborah and I have some really fun things planned, and there probably will be guests. And most of all, we hope to see all of you there with us. So that's going to be on Tuesday night, December the 28th. Okay, speaking of Deborah, here she is.
And now it's a perfect time to go back to some music, which can continue to raise our frequency and connect us in the heart. And we have Marcy, Made of Light, back with us. She did that beautiful song at the beginning, and I'd love to bring her on back now. And then we're going to have a very special transmission again from the TwinRay. So this will totally beautifully set the vibration for that. So welcome back, Marcy, for your second song with us.
Much. We're gonna sing to Krishna. We pray to Krishna with the Maha Mantra, very, very famous ancient mantra. We're praying to Krishna to help us see through all of our illusions so that we may get back to our divine sight, what is there for us, and our awareness of our true consciousness. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Rama 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 Rama, Hare Om, Rama Rama Rama, Hare Om, Rama Rama Rama, Hare Om, Rama Rama Rama, Hare Om. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Rama 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 Rama, Hare Om, Rama 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 Rama, Hare Om, Rama 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 Rama, Hare Om, Rama 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 Rama, Jai Shri Krishna, Jai 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 Shri Krishna, Jai 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 Shri Krishna, Jai 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 Shri Krishna, Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Rama 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 Rama, Hare Om, Rama 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 Rama, Hare Om, Rama 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 Rama, Hare Om, Rama 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 Rama, Hare Om.
So beautiful. So beautiful. Thank you. Oh. Mercy, tell us who your friend is playing such beautiful guitar next to you.
This is Babo, and we met here in Oaxaca, Mexico. He's part of a beautiful band called Caboclos, and they play Brazilian Afro, beautiful music. You can check them out online as well.
They're going to play one more song for us a little bit later, very soon. But I also wanted to talk about that you have this wonderful YouTube video about kind of your inspiration for creating, and it was part of your GoFundMe or your the way that you raised money. So I'm going to put into the chat box the link, and if anybody wants to watch this video, it's wonderful. And then also you can subscribe to her Pure Lands music channel. So we can continue to stay connected to you both through Bandcamp and through YouTube. Wonderful.
Thank you.
I'll see you in a few minutes. Just want to let people know a little bit about our after shows. About every other week, Jay and Jan and Light Touch do an after show, and they've got a very special one planned for next week, our Christmas night show. So definitely, when you're planning your timing, make sure you're here for the main show. We're trying to keep the main show to 2 hours, 2.5 at the most, and then always at 8:30 is when we start the after show. And tonight's after show, we're going to show what Matthew Fox had to say about spiritual teacher. We're going to hear from Andrew Harvey. We're going to hear from some other amazing spiritual teachers. And we're going to hear from you. So let us know who your influences have been. And I'm going to go through and read a lot of those tonight. So that's what's going to be happening this evening. It's now my pleasure to turn it back over one more time to our beloveds, the TwinRay, to hear what they have to say.
Blessings, beloveds.
Hello, beloveds again.
What a beautiful show tonight. Really, just feeling everyone's sharings, and the music is so beautiful. Thank you so much, Marcy. And just really, this feels such a heartfelt sharing this entire time. So such a joy.
Such a joy, such beautiful heart resonance with everyone's sharing every word, every song. We've loved every moment. So thank you so much.
Yeah. And so with this last segment that we have the joy to share, we wanted to just really acknowledge the immortality of the true light within. And we spoke a little bit earlier, of course, about beloved Grandma G and shedding the body. And really it's important to also reflect of when one sheds the body, there's the only but more that they do is go into consistent, greatest journey of their life and the consistent, everlasting life. And that is one thing that we really wanted to make mention.
And, you know, for us, beloveds, we know better than to be attached to any flesh. And really, what we know to be true is that because this beloved being, this beautiful soul, left the planet, we know what she was upholding for the world. We know she is a liberated being, and we know exactly what she was upholding for the world. And so we know that there will be many, many that follow very soon thereafter. And so we shed tears, but not tears of sadness, tears of celebration, tears of beauty, for when one portal closes, another one opens, and where they go next is a place of no suffering, is a place of truly the eternal bliss of the all that is. And this is a celebration.
Yeah.
We celebrate her life and the life of all who have passed.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. And so we must always celebrate the eternal nature of the soul. Mm-hmm. And I want to take a moment as well to really honor one of the greatest teachers of my life, which is by far my beautiful wife. and really, Shekinah is the only other person or being that I've ever met or come into contact with that has not only the power and the majesty and the grace and the blessings that we shared about with Grandma G earlier, but that heart, that pure heart of love. And so I just really want to take a moment to honor my wife as really one of the greatest impacts in my life, and will always be.
Thank you, my love. Thank you so much. That's so beautiful. And, you know, there is no greater teacher than my beloved Sananda, husband, Sananda G, who this day is honoring Grandma G and will be taking the name as Sananda G.
Yeah, Grandma G always asked me to take on those extra letters to my name, and in the spirit of her, I will honor her this day forth by taking her. Yeah.
And I had told her that there would come a time when I would take on the letters Ma, and today is that day. So Shekinah Ma and Sananda G live on in the name, in the heart of our beautiful Grandma G and all the G's of Baba G. And we will do our utmost to uphold this lineage, the greatest truth, holding that staff of truth no matter what. And in the spirit of today, in the spirit of beautiful, incredible beings that have come to share their light, their love, their voice, their song, as everyone has a song in their heart to sing, I want to take a moment just right now for everyone to feel that song in your heart. What is that song in your heart that has not yet been expressed? What is that song in your heart that is beckoning you forth? Where does it bubble up from? Where can you feel it? And what is it asking for? And this is something that you can figure out for yourself later on, but really hold this as an intention. What is the song in your heart? And how do you transmit it to the world? And how can you bring even more love and more light and more passion and more grace and more compassion than you do right now? Because in the spirit of what we show up with, which is selfless service for our community, our students, for us there is nothing greater. For we know that in order to purify the mind, the heart, selfless service is the way to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. And any time a loved one sheds the body and returns to the immortal nature of the soul, it gives you that moment to reflect. And so not only tune into what that song is, but really reflect on your life. And that's really what the solstice is all about, is to take not only this year and reflect on this year, but also reflect on your life. Reflect out all the many beautiful teachers, whether they're people, beings, or nature, or just experiences of inner guidance. Really, each one of you have been blessed to make yourself, basically to be here, to make yourself known in this community, to be here in this community that's raising so much light for the world. It's a clear indication of how much you've come to know your true nature. And that's so beautiful. And we really want to express that, to understand the miracle of life. And it's not ever going to be known here. It's only going to be known here. And what can you give? Because that's really why we're here. It's not what you can get, ever. It's what you can give, how you can give, how much love can you give, how much love can you share. And that's the greatest teacher that we began with in this show and will always end with. It's really love.
Only teacher.
It's the only teacher.
You can only learn through love.
You can only learn through love.
Even if it seems like it's not love, it is love.
We aren't really teachers. We just inspire love, and then love will teach you. And so just to take a reflection and take this moment to that song within your hearts, whether it has lyrics, whether it has music, or whether it just has silence, or whether it has an action. But second that song within your heart, to reflect on the miracle of your heart, the miracle of your life, the miracle of your soul, the miracle of this very moment that we get to gather together. And remember this when it seems like it's all doom and gloom in the outside world, when the world feels like it's going into chaos. Remember this. Remember these moments that matter most, when you can stare the fear in the face and realize it's all play, and not take life serious, but be sincere with life. And one of the greatest ways to learn from this life is to be in selfless service. How can you give? What can you do from your heart with nothing?
Nothing to receive.
Nothing to receive. No agenda. Just completely transparent and authentic. And that guidance within you, that pure light inside you, that is the greatest inspiration. And every single one that inspires something inside you is bringing you back to that great inspiration of your own light. The true love, the one teacher as God within and throughout. And so we really wanted to dedicate this transmission, this intimate time together, to just take a moment to reflect. Reflect on the song in your heart, the joy in your heart, the miracle of your life, and really reflect on what matters most. Because in any moment, any one of us can shed the body. Any moment.
We're not going to. We're going to be here for a really long time. But
it's important just to reflect on that.
Because life is so precious.
Yeah.
And that's really what we're sharing, is the preciousness of life. Even if life might not feel like it's going exactly the way your mind would like it to go. Yeah. You know somewhere deep inside of you that it is going just as you need it to, for whatever the lessons are that you've come to learn, for whatever the blessings are that you're ready to have, that you're ready to tell the universe you're ready for. Yeah. And so it's about recognizing the tenuous nature of life, and thus how precious that nature is inherently. And every sentient being, every animal, every mineral, every plant, every drop of water, is a part of that grand tapestry of the divine, and there is divine in absolutely every moment, even if you can't see it.
Yeah. And it's not about being a teacher either. It's not even about being someone to teach. It's about demonstrating your life as the teaching, being an embodiment, being an expression of truth, being an expression of love, being an expression of all the sacred virtues that the soul knows, that spirit knows, and demonstrating that, allowing your life to be an example of the very teachings that you've learnt and that you can share just by demonstration alone. And so allow life to be your greatest teacher by living a life of love, dedicated to love.
As love.
Yeah, for love. And in this solstice time, as we're transitioning in 2022, it's all about really appreciating all the blessings that may have been in disguise, and loving all of that. And as you're moving into this next phase of your life, this next phase of this grand cycle, this new Aquarian age, this golden age, as you're shifting your vibration, as you're shifting into the next phasing of reality for this whole collective experience, it's really time to make a choice. Really make that choice within. What do you dedicate your life to? How do you choose to dedicate your life? And dedicate your life to that love, that service of love, that selfless service. And dedicate your life to truth. Dedicate your life to realize, really realize who you truly are, beyond any concept, beyond any perception of the mind, but who you truly are as love absolute. And stay there and express that, be that, share that. Radiate that, and that love that we're all here to celebrate is the greatest teacher that has changed the world. And every single time one returns to love, another life is saved.
That's so beautiful and so true.
So we love you all.
What more is there to say?
What more is there to say? Thank you for a beautiful, beautiful evening together.
Let love lead the way, always.
You stay on for just a couple more minutes, please. I want to just remind people about their website, and it's twinray.com, twinray.com. And if you scroll down, you can see where you can register for their masterclass, and you definitely want to do that so that you can receive this beautiful gift that they're offering. And once you put in your email address, they'll send it to you, and it's a beautiful, beautiful 45-minute masterclass to get us going. I want to thank you so much. And we will continue to, of course, support all things TwinRay. But I also wanted to ask you to stay with us for a minute. And I'm bringing Deborah on because I want us to take a moment to honor Deborah. This is the last show she's going to host for a little while she takes a break and takes good care of herself. And she has been, you talked about selfless service. She has been of such extraordinary service to create this show and all that she's done behind the scenes to make the show happen and the special events happen.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that it's just as you've modeled each other as teachers, and Deborah has modeled service. I also want to honor that she's modeling that sometimes it's about taking care of ourselves and taking a step back and tuning in and relaxing and healing and hearing spirit. So thank you for modeling service. Thank you for modeling this next chapter, Deborah. And I just turn it over to anything you'd like to share.
Yeah, it's really about everything we've been talking about tonight, being in tune with the higher self and the guidance of what we're here to do. And sometimes we're here to push forward. Sometimes we're here to step back. rejuvenate and let the new instructions come in. And so that's been really clear for me, because we all have big plans moving forward. We are here with Mama Gaia right now. We're here with each other, and we have a lot to create going forward in the new earth. So it's important for all of us to tune into that higher guidance and follow that. And magic can happen, continues to happen. That's how it works. And I so love my last show to be with the TwinRay and have this consciousness that we're all sharing here, because this is really what I'm about. And so much, and love birthing the show as the mama, and love that Scott's going to continue, and I'm going to work behind the scenes to really make sure it's solid so we can come out even in a stronger way in 2022 and keep this growing and flowing. So love you all so much.
Thank you, beloved
Thank you,
Deborah. We
beloved
support
Deborah.
you completely. As you know, we've been talking through this with you.
Yes.
And we support you completely, and anything that you need, we're here for, as well as Scott. We support you completely in your direction as well.
Yes.
And we know that the directions will merge once more in a new birth.
Yes, and
New
sometimes
creation.
really the greatest service that you can do is go within, and in order to then expand throughout. So beautiful.
Just like the breath of life, it's the contraction and the expansion, and the universe is expanding and contracting all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
Infinitely so. So we celebrate you.
And so thank you. And what a perfect way for us to conclude. And I'm going to turn it over to Marcy, Maid of Light, to play her last song for the night. And we can just, as we listen to this music, let's think of Deborah with lots of love, send lots of gratitude to the TwinRay. And I want to invite anybody to put into the chat box, what is the song, maybe when Shekinah Ma made that request, what is the song of your heart? Some of you already put that in, put into the chat box if you are clear on what the song of your heart is. I'd love to see that, and we'll read some of those during the after show.
Thank
Beautiful.
you. And beloved Marcy, thank you for your beautiful song and your beautiful song in your heart, and your angelic voice, and the sweet being next to you as well, and your beautiful serenade. We're really grateful.
Yes.
Thank you for
Thank
being
you,
a part
beloveds.
of this with us, co-creation.
This next song is in English and Sanskrit, so we'll be chanting to Narayani, is a version of Durga, the Great Mother. So in this moment we can set our intention, allowing Narayani to pierce our hearts, using the implements to cut away again the illusions, clearing our mind, setting forth the beautiful intentions for the future. So we'll pray here for Deborah's blessing way into the future together. Thank you so much for having us. What a beautiful evening. Thank you so much. Her face beholds the trees and the sky. Her light shines like the stars. Darkness opening the gray night. Surrender to her. Love is flowing like a design through time and space divine. Nectar pouring, nothing to do but open to Narayani, Narayani, Jaya Namaste, Tum Durgaye Namah, Narayani, Narayani Jaya Namosate Dum Durgaye Namah. Salutations to the divine Mother of the world, cutting fear, revealing the truth to liberate you. Narayani, Narayani, Jaya Namosate, Dum Durgaye Namah. Narayani, Narayani, Jaya Namosate, Dum Durgaye Namah. Om Dum Durgaye, Om Dum Durgaye, Om Dum Durgaye, Nami Namah. Om Dum Durgaye, Om Dum Durgaye, Om Dum Durgaye, Nami Namah. Sarvamangala Mangalaye, Sarvamangala Mangalaye, Sarvamangala Mangalaye, Nami Namah. Narayani, Narayani, Jaya Namosate, Dum Durgaye Namah. Narayani, Narayani, Jaya Namosate, Dum Durgaye Namah. Narayani, Narayani, Jaya Namosate, Dum Durgaye Namah.
Mm. So very, very beautiful. What a blessing, Marcy made of light for you to be part of our growing family here. I certainly hope you'll come back soon. And please, everybody, it's so important for us to support our artists. And we could only imagine how much has gone into this creation of her album, Into the Light, dedicated to her sister's passage, her younger sister's passage. So I think as we've all heard her music tonight, it's exquisite, it's heartfelt, and let's support her by going to Bandcamp and buying her album. And I promise I'm going to do that tonight right away. And thank you so much for being with us, Marcy.
Thank you so much. So many blessings. Jai Ma.
Babu, for your incredible support. It's beautiful. It's beautiful to see the two of you. It's a wonderful modeling. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a beautiful night.
And so a reminder, everybody, we're going to have a wonderful after show. We're going to hear from Andrew Harvey, Matthew Fox, Thich Nhat Hanh, even the Dalai Lama, and Wayne Dyer. And so one more time, though, I'm going to bring Deborah on. And if she wants to come on up, see if Deborah wants to come on and say a few final words. Here she is.
Again, beautiful show. So much heart, so much love. Always amazing. Every time after every show, Scott and I text each other. Wow. It's pretty incredible how we put together these shows, and it's, a lot of people that go into making the magic here. So thank everyone, all the presenters that have been on almost 90 shows now, all the people that have helped, the volunteers, all the musicians, of course, during this special time, all the entertainers, and all our team and our staff. We've had an incredible team. I brought on my team, Lindsay, Tammy, Jessica, and of course, Debbie Johnston is going to be staying on with the team and working with us. And she's been a super volunteer. And I'm so happy that she's going to stay with us and work, because she's another superwoman. So I feel really confident and trusting that this is going to be in good hands as we grow everything to the next level as well. So, and thank you, Scott, for who you are and being an incredible partner and crazy man to keep going and going and going.
Absolutely. Thank you. And I'm going to keep on going tonight, because we've got some really wonderful videos to show. So this is the official close of the main show. And I'm going to stop the recording. But I also want to remind everybody to stick around. We've got a really great